Hey everyone, it's me, Ari Dusted, or you can just call me Rashid. Thank you all for being here. And well, I'm here with another live stream. You know what? Let me check if I can use natural daylight this time. Hold on. Okay. Let me know, is this better? Well, it's just natural daylight, but you don't see the rest outside my face as well. But anyway, I'm glad you're all here for this new live. It's a morning live. Most of the time when I do a live stream, it's during the evening, because I finish work, or also the evening hours for me. It's been suitable for many of my subscribers who are from North America. But before I go into all of that, can you all hear me clearly? Let me know. Can you all hear me clearly? Let me know in the live chat, please. Hold on. I think I'm going to use studio light anyway. So let me just hold on. Yes. I will do this way. It's much better. Okay, you can all hear me clearly. Okay, that's good. I see Tammy's here, Darren is here, Les Brown is here, Sunshine is here, Maria Garcia is here. May the rest here show themselves in live chats too. Without further ado, let me share a screen with you. By the way, I have StreamYard over here also. So let me just go to StreamYard and add the screen share to the mix. And let me share the screen on the screen share. Microsoft Edge. Okay. Good. By the way, can you all still hear me clearly? Let me know in the live chat. Now that I'm sharing the screen. All right. So, confusion. Well, automatic translate to Dutch for some reason. I don't know why it does that, but okay. So I went to this is the Webster, Merriam-Webster. It's a dictionary that's been in place since 1828 for English, and this is how it defines confusion. It has actually three ways. Confusion can be an act or instance of confusing. So confusion of an issue. Second can be the quality or state of being confused. This is a mental issue. So I'm not. So this is something you need medical treatment for, because it can be something biologically also. And but confusion can also be a confusing mess or mixture. So you put apples, vegetables, you put bricks, everything together. They're not directly related. But now, confusing is a verb. Okay? And confusing has four meanings. Now, the first one is to disturb in mind or purpose. It's another way is to throw off someone. So, let's say you're on your way from Amsterdam to Berlin with a train. And on your way, there is this car that has a crash on a crossover for the train. And because of that, you're hindered in arriving in Berlin. Now, you have to take a whole nother detour to go to Berlin with the train. And on the detour now, there's another crash happening. So now you're being confused on your way to Berlin. Or let's say now that you're watching, let's say you're in class in university. You have to pay attention to the class. And you have this individual texting you all the time. While you're in class, you haven't told them, listen, I'm in class now, I can't talk, but they keep texting you. They're not actually confusing you because they are disrupting your attention from what goes on in class. So the first meaning of to confuse is to actually throw someone off, is to disturb someone's mind or someone's purpose. All right. And then another thing is the second meaning is kind of similar to the first. Simply means that you make something vague. For example, let's say you're talking about finances, but you keep using difficult terms that don't even matter. Instead of saying, I spent €5 on groceries, you would say, I spend €5 on daily necessities. Okay, just say it's groceries. I know groceries can be a daily necessity, but why do you use difficult terms when you can just say it clearly as it is? So I'm not saying that using difficult terms by itself is confusing, but it can have a confusing effect on people when you use difficult terms for something they can also say in an easy way. Oh, by the way, sometimes corporations in the legal system tend to do this. Or let's say someone uses Latin phrases while they have English text. Well, in the legal system, this is common. Or if you're a scholar talking about ancient times, but just in daily conversation, it can be a bit off. All right. Now, the second meaning also has another part to fail to differentiate from an often similar or related other. So, for example, when people talk about money, a lot of people associate money with having comfort. Is it true that the more money you have, the more comfort you have? No. You can have comfort while your income is low. At the other hand, you can also have a lot of money and a lot of stress. So confusion can also be you have a wrong association with things. You seriously believe things are connected, and they may be connected, but may not be connected the way you think they are. So because you think they're connected in a certain way, they're not. Now you have a framework of thinking that sabotages you. If you think having more money automatically means that you have more comfort in life, then you will develop the expectation the more money you have in life, the better off you are. So now you will shape your whole life about getting more money. See what I mean? It goes far. But if you think that strangers are always dangerous, now you end up being extra clingy to people you already have in your life. But here's the issue. At some point, you need to talk to strangers to form new relationships. So now you're sabotaging yourself socially and financially. So confusion is also when there's a wrong association you believe in, and this wrong association holds you back. There's also confusion. And again, the third meaning of the second, I already explained that a little bit. Throwing things that are not directly related altogether. A third thing is to psychologically embarrass someone. When you embarrass someone in front of other people, it's also confusing them. Why? Because when you embarrass someone, you actually psychologically stress them out. And because of that, they can't think clearly because they're embarrassed. So to embarrass someone, it's also a way to confuse them. And you also have the fourth meaning, which is the main meaning people often use it for, is to bring ruin. Let's say you have a man, he has his own business, he's doing well in life. And now you have a woman walk into his life. And she ends up acting needy, and then she ends up messing up his finances, taking advantage of his kindness. That is to confuse the man. All right? Men do it to women too. So, to confuse something or someone simply means to either make it vague or to cause disruption and destruction. Is this clear onto you now? Let me know in the live chat. Is this clear? Let me know. I didn't get any answers yet. Is this clear? Okay. So now that this is clear, okay, let me shut down the screen share because I won't be needing that account anymore. Hold on. I need to stop sharing the screen. All right. Oh, you see me twice. I have to go over here. When you type in confusion in Google image search, you get images like this. Hold on. Like you see, you can't see it, so let me bring it closer. You get images like this over here. With a weird face above the head and all of that. Now, those illustrations, they kind of show what confusion does to your energy field. Confusion, when someone confuses you, what they're actually doing is they are slowing you down psychologically, and on an emotional level, they actually disable you from experiencing what goes on around you. That's what happens when someone confuses you. Now, human beings confuse one another from time to time. Often we do it unconsciously. If you are confused yourself, you will confuse other people. Does it mean automatically you're an evil individual with an evil agenda? No, it just means you're in a chronic dysfunctional state, and in this chronic dysfunctional state, you also have a bad effect on other people. It doesn't mean you're evil or you intend to harm others. It simply means that you have a chronic dysfunction needs to be dealt with. Simple as that. All right? Now, if you don't want to face you have this chronic dysfunction, now you become a demonic portal. So now demons can easily use you. Now, that's something different. But now understand the following. Confusion in itself is not natural. We are not built to operate in confusion. I mean, look, if you have a poor diet, you don't eat and drink well, your body's going to crash. If you don't sleep enough each night, your body will crash. Emotionally, you'll be disrupted also. So when we are inconsistent as human beings, that confusion of that inconsistency itself destroys our physical and mental health. So no human being anywhere can get away with being confusing in the long run. Nobody can. Every human being, I don't care whether they are a little child or an adult individual that does bodybuilding, whatever, or whether they are an old man or old woman in the 80s, it doesn't matter. Well, old according to the world, we don't really do that as believers. But I don't care what your age is. Well, your age doesn't matter. If you're a little child, of course you can't survive because you're just a little child. If you're an adult in your prime, you may be able to endure more. But anyway, no human being anywhere can get away with long-term confusion. So if you are inconsistent, you're also giving off confusion. And this confusion disrupts both yourself and other people. And eventually, everyone will notice the discomfort, there's going to be conflict. And of course, in your physical and mental health, you will have issues too. Simple as that. But hold on. If confusion is easily recognized, and we naturally walk away from confusion, how is it then that there are people out there, including believers, who are stuck in confusion for years or decades? Well, let me tell you how that happens. There are evil spirits that you could call confusion spirits or spirits of confusion. I've spoken about them before. And these fallen angels, because they're in their form, they're angelic beings, they're evil beings, but they were cast out of heaven. These type of fallen angels are specialized and experienced in keeping confusion in human relationships. What these evil spirits do, they're all men, what these men do is these men, they hide behind misconceptions and wrong ways of thinking in the population, and they now emotionally push through trickery those wrong expectations. And because human beings are social creatures, we don't notice quickly when our social setting is turning toxic. Let me tell you one thing about us human beings. We have a hard time recognizing when our environment has become toxic towards us. What is toxic? Toxic means it's harmful in the long run. Toxic is not the same as uncomfortable. A situation can be uncomfortable, but it doesn't mean it's toxic. If you're in school and the teacher is hammering on you to do your homework, it's uncomfortable, but it's not toxic. Why? Because it will benefit you in the long run if you do your homework. If you're at church and the pastor is calling out inconsistent behavior, you may feel uncomfortable because you realize some inconsistency in yourself. It's uncomfortable, but it's not toxic. You may have your mom calling you often, and you think, "Mom, stop calling me like that." But here's the thing: your mom is picking up danger, and that's why she wants to warn you the way she can. So it's uncomfortable, it's annoying, but it doesn't mean automatically it's toxic. Toxic is when something is harmful in the long run. In the short run, you may not have that much of bad effects of it. In the long run, it's toxic. For example, let's say you have coworkers smoking in the office. You're not smoking yourself. They're smoking. Of course, their lungs are more affected by smoke than you do because they're the ones smoking. But in the long run, you will have bad effects in your lungs too because you're in the same room where smoke is happening. Now, if you're in a room where people are smoking, it's only for maybe a half hour, whatever, of course it's going to be affecting your lungs, but it's not going to be that intense. But if you're in a place over and over again where people keep smoking and smoking, well, you're not smoking, it's going to affect you too, so it's toxic to you in the long run. Because toxic means in the long run it's harmful. Let's say You eat fast food. Okay? If you eat fast food once in a while, okay, it's not going to be such a bad effect on your body. But if you eat fast food all the time, regularly, in the long run, it's a toxic thing. You know what I mean? So toxic means it's harmful in the long run. Okay? Something can be uncomfortable, something can be dysfunctional, but it's not long. If it's not harmful in the long run, it's not toxic. Okay? So understand this: we human beings, we recognize discomfort easily. We as human beings, we want and we love comfort. There's nothing wrong with it. So when it's discomfort, we tend to react to it. And we tend to call every discomfort toxic. And we should stop doing that. Not everything that is uncomfortable or painful is toxic. Okay? Stop calling everything that you experience as painful or uncomfortable toxic. So when it comes to discomfort, we recognize discomfort immediately. But we often have a hard time recognizing toxicity when we're in the situation. So that is why it's important to have outsider perspectives from time to time. Why? Because when you have an outsider perspective, they pick things up you don't. You could be in a marriage where your spouse is a narcissist, your spouse is a reprobate, and your spouse became a reprobate during the marriage. They were already on their way to reprobation. Hold on. Just one moment, please. Wrong address. But anyway, what I'm saying is you cannot have, how do I say, people in a situation that's toxic and there's no warning signal. There are warning signals, but here's the issue with it. Here's an issue with it. You are the last one to notice it. You are. Because you're in the situation. The outsider is not involved. So they have no emotional attachment. And because of that, they can see it. So now understand this. These evil spirits of confusion or confusion spirits, what they do is that the moment you believe something is functional, it doesn't have to be something big. It can also be a small thing. For example, you believe that, oh, well, you may think like, okay, you know what, drinking soda often is really not that bad for your health, even though soda has a lot of sugar in it. It can also be, for example, that you think, well, no parent will ever wish harm on their children, which is something quite dumb because there are evil parents out there. When you believe something dysfunctional, the spirit of confusion gets close to you. Because your energy field gets off. And when you are close to that evil spirit, because the evil spirit gets close to you, now the demon will pull through people's energy field other people in your life that will enable that dysfunctional belief. So those other people now are they are the ones energizing the demon, because the demon needs to be fed. Now the demon has a click with you because you believe something that's dysfunctional will harm you in the long run. Now those other people enable that wrong thinking you have. So now the demon gains a hold over you and is able to hold you back because of the presence of those other people in your life. But because you see those other people as beneficial, you're never going to think, no, they're not involved in this. Listen, they are involved. They are unconsciously enabling you in misfortune. They don't have to be bad people. They don't have to be narcissists. They don't have to be creeps. But the moment they're in your life and their presence enables long-term dysfunction in you, they are a portal used by evil spirits. And the spirit of confusion loves to use people in this way. So what needs to happen? You need to realize that there's some confusion going on in your life. And because of confusion you are in a bad condition. What needs to happen is you need to disconnect from those other people. But sometimes that's hard because you don't know who to disconnect from. That's why you need to start facing yourself, examining your expectations. And the moment you begin to let go internally of wrong things, you'll notice that the spirit of confusion loses grip over you. So the demon begins to retaliate to other people. Let's say you're watching porn often. You're a porn addict. And one day you decide, you know what, let me follow course on sexual health. You stop watching porn. Some of your buddies were also watching porn. Someone begins to call you all the time, text you all the time, over and over again, think, whoa, what's going on? It's the spirit of confusion triggering that other individual to keep calling you. They don't even know why they keep calling you. They don't even know why they keep contacting you. It's the spirit of confusion doing that just to keep you in this confusing state. And if you bypass that, you insist on sexual health, eventually those people forget about you. It's like they have amnesia, you're out of their mind. Why is that? It's because it was the spirit of confusion that kept them there. You hear me? It was the spirit of confusion that kept those people there. So those friendships were not even natural human friendships. That marriage or that sexual relationship you had wasn't even a natural sexual involvement. It was a paranormal operation to keep you confused and hold you back and to cause you to miss out and lose your life. There are many believers who have spirits of confusion operating in their lives on a regular basis. They pray, decree, declare, and you cry, Rashid, why is nothing happening? Rashid, what goes on? Rashid, can you pray for me? Of course I'll pray for you. Of course I decree for you and all of that. But I will go to the root. Why aren't things working out for you? Why do you always encountering blocks in your life? Because you have a spirit of confusion, so even multiple spirits of confusion operating against you. And it's those other people that are around that feed the demon. Now, those other people, they may not be bad people. Some of them are bad people. They should walk away from them anyway. But if they're not bad people, they're chronically dysfunctional people that demons can use because they don't want to face themselves. Someone willing to face themselves, demons can't use them that well. Demons don't even want to use an individual who wants to face themselves. But people that just make excuses just to be left alone, just to find relief, demons can use them easily. You understand me? So, don't hate on those people. Don't turn on them. They are to blame for not wanting solution for themselves. If they were people who long for solution for themselves, they would never have this confusing effect on you because they would realize, wait, why am I confusing? Let me improve. But because they're not that way, demons are able to use them. And the spirit of confusion will generate counterfeit friendships and counterfeit sexual involvements for you to keep you back. The demons are fed by you being in a chronic dysfunctional state and other people thinking in a toxic way concerning you. Look, understand this. You have to face that there's something off in your life. And this is how you recognize the spirit of confusion. You feel off and you feel like there's danger, but you can't explain what the danger is. How many of you experience this in life? Let me know in the live chat. How many of you experience this? Let me know in the live chat immediately. You feel danger, uncomfortable, but you can't explain what the danger is. Maybe it's not with you, but maybe it's with someone else. You encounter this individual, whether someone at work or someone in the streets or whatever, and it's like you feel danger around them, but you can't explain what the danger is. Let me tell you what goes on. There's a spirit of confusion operating over there. Maybe not against you, but there's a spirit of confusion used an individual, or there's a spirit of confusion targeting the individual wanted to. Most of the time, it's because someone has a spirit of confusion working through them. Rashid, can spirits of confusion use believers? Yes. If a believer is not delivered, not renewed in the mind, spirits of confusion can even use them. A believer insisting that you have to go to church every Sunday to be a good believer, while it's nowhere in the Bible, it's not even a natural nor good thing nor beneficial thing to do, that believer is operating in confusion, and spirits of confusion will use them to hold you back as a believer who wants to be delivered. Believers emphasizing free will and the right to will whatever you will, which is quite ludicrous. They operate in confusion, and evil spirits of confusion can use them to hinder other believers. The number one red flag you never ignore. You experience, you feel danger, but you can't explain what the danger is. It can be a coworker, it can be your mom, or it can be anyone. You think, this individual is not evil. Why do I feel danger around this individual? When I talk to them, there's no danger. You think, am I becoming nuts? Do I need to help? You get to doubt yourself. And that's what the spirit of confusion wants, for you to doubt yourself. Once you doubt yourselves, you end up crashing on the inside. And now the spirit of confusion can finish you off. Before you know it, tragic spirits come in. Spirit of death comes in to take you out. So understand what I'm saying. You have to admit that there is something off around me. And once you do that, look around you. And I can guarantee you, if something has been hindering you for more than 3 months, it's a spirit of confusion behind the situation. Now, the human beings are involved. You may need to look at yourself and improve too. But it doesn't mean there's no paranormal thing around. Well, listen, the demons need other people to be fed. So the demons will use other people to be linked to you just to keep you behind. Again, confusion is not someone saying I'm a believer, but then say I don't believe it, I don't have a wedlock. Me and my wife are just together. We don't have a marriage license. Then you have people from church saying, oh, but just fornication because it's set for marriage. Because those people in church don't even know what marriage is. They think marriage is the marriage license you get from a government. Well, that's not even natural marriage. So those in church follow a church doctrine that's contradicting scripture and contradicting common sense. And now they are projecting this onto the believer who actually understands it. So you think you're a believer, but you don't have a marriage license with your partner. That's not confusion at all. People say it's confusion because they expect all believers to have a marriage license before they have sex. So confusion is not when people expect things from you because they think that's how it should be, but you end up doing something different. That's not confusion. Confusion is when there's this long-term chronic dysfunction that harms you. That's confusion. Let me tell you, human beings cannot function long-term in confusion. They'll crash very quickly. We're not that powerful as human beings. So if someone is in a confusion state for a long period of time, it's a demon keeping it going. For example, if you're smoking 50 cigarettes a day and your lungs are still not shutting down, there is a spirit of confusion behind this. If you have been driving drunk on the road for years and you never had a crash with a car or you never hurt anyone else on the road and the police never caught you, that's a spirit of confusion operating over there. You can't have long-term, listen, you can be dysfunctional as a human being, but chronic, dangerous dysfunction that goes against your own health as a human being, if you aim that in the long run, that's a spirit of confusion. Right over there. So, another thing, if you have someone who's in poverty all the time, they can never pay rent on time, but they're still in the same poverty, stressful situation for 10 to 15 years, spirit of confusion. Is it clear to you now how to recognize the spirit of confusion and how to cast them out? Let me know. Let me know. Is this clear unto you? Understand this. Human beings are not that powerful that we can just go against our own design in the long run. We can't do that. But you have a lot of human beings operating against their design and they appear fine. You have a lot of ease doing it because it's a spirit of confusion enabling the bad situation. That's it. This is how you cause out a spirit of confusion from operating in your life. Calm down, admit whatever kind of dysfunction there is, be open for better. You have to be open for better. And once you're open for better, now you command the spirit. And you tell the demon into its face, even if you don't see him. Spirit of confusion, get out of my life now. Depart in Christ's mighty name. Now, come, speak and command the demon to leave. And do the following. Spirit of confusion, I command you, leave and take all your portals with you now in Christ's mighty name. Do that. Command the demon to leave with all his portals. Do that. And you'll see suddenly some people stop texting you. Maybe your husband stops having sex with you, or your wife doesn't want to have sex anymore, or suddenly people at work want to fire you. Suddenly people get disconnected from you, people get uncoupled around you. Now you know those people were portals all along, keeping you in misfortune. Command the demon to get the hell out and take his portals with him and see what's going to happen. But a lot of believers aren't willing to go through this. Because they love mommy, daddy, they love wifey, hubby, they love buddies, church folks, or they love their co-workers. A lot of believers have so much affection. And there's nothing wrong having a deep affection for other people. But if the people you have so much affection for are not serious about being the safest and best version of themselves, if they're not willing to contribute to their own, remember, if they're not consistent, remember from my previous live stream, consistency is you operate in your own long-term well-being and contribute to the long-term well-being of others. If they're not consistent, contributing to their own long-term well-being and the long-term well-being of you, then you shouldn't be involved with them. Simple as that. And a lot of believers are so invested in toxic entanglements. I don't even call the relationships involved in toxic entanglements should have left a long time ago. Mm-hmm. So, understand. Often it's not you that needs to change. It may not directly be other people you need to address, even though other people are involved. There are times it's a spirit of confusion you need to cast out. Spirits of confusion will try to get back from time to time, so you have to keep casting them out. Because as long as you're dealing with human beings that are inconsistent, the spirit of confusion is an oxygen. Simple as that. And there are even many believers who are not even consistent. Spirits of confusion don't just walk into your life that way. They will always come through other people as a solution. You may be going through a divorce and you encounter this woman talking about psychological help. And think, wow, this is good. Behind it is a spirit of confusion that's meant to trick you into a cult where you'll find another husband that will actually do you worse. Maybe you're going through financial difficulty and you really want to way out. And suddenly out of the blue, you get an email, a job offer that pays well. What you don't know is that this job that you will have will be entangled with the criminal world. So you'll be sabotaged for decades being involved with this. You may even lose your life. But the spirit of confusion is coming as a solution, and you often accept it. And especially you ladies, when it comes to other women, listen, ladies, check the females you're associated with. I'm saying this to all the women now watching this. Examine all the other women you're involved with. Because some of you are surrounded by portals. All your female friends and all the women you have close to you are portals. And you wonder why you never get that in life. You wonder why you always have sexual issues with the men you're involved with. You wonder why you always have financial difficulties. You wonder why you always have mental issues. Your female associates and female friends are all portals. I know it's painful for you to hear, but that's the case. Well, once you cast out the spirit of confusion, you will lose all those quote unquote relationships you had. And that's why you need to be open to develop relationships with female believers who really want better. Some of you female believers that go to church or maybe don't go to church, some of the other female believers are not your portals because they don't want any better. Check the other women you're involved with, please. You find better by connecting with better people. If you're in a Telegram group that I made, talk to other believers. If you just pray for other believers, then talk to them, communicate with them. And also be willing to self-reflect and improve where you can improve. As simple as that. All right? That's how you do it. Okay, are there any more questions? Let me know, are there questions? Because it's an important topic. Because I felt like I need to do this morning before I start my day. It's my day off, by the way, but I want to start this message this morning because a lot of you need to hear this. All right, it's been over 40 minutes. All right. Yes, Wilbur, the spirit of confusion was working through them. Absolutely. Listen, I'm not saying those other people are evil people that intend to do you harm. No, they may be kind, good people, but if they have chronic dysfunction they didn't want to face, they become portals. Simple as that. Even people with a good heart can become portals if not willing to face their own chronic dysfunction. Simple as that. It's not just narcissists, psychopaths, sociopaths, and bad people can become portals. Now, look. The spirit of confusion is specialized in keeping confusion. There can also be other demons involved, like the Python spirits or a spirit of tragedy, not that. But confusion spirits are the demons we often don't recognize. Because those demons make use of our social nature to hold us back. That's why I'm informing about them. So, listen, be open for better yourself. Self-reflect, ask yourself in the mirror, how can I be better? Or what can I do better? Self-reflect for the better, be open for better, and then you cast out the spirit of confusion and see and tell the demon to leave and take all his portals with him and see what happens. All right. Okay. I don't get any more questions. Thank you all for being here. Keep agreeing with Christ, and I'll see you next time. Shalom. God is good.